All right, look, we finna talk about individual consciousness. Now, I made a video about collective consciousness. Now I'm making a video about the individual consciousness. Now, look, you as a person, you have your brain, and your brain is aware of. So you got, it's two realms. Like I said, it's the outer world realm and it's the inner world realm. Now the inner world realm is the realm you can't see, but it's the realm that's still there. You have to make sense out of it. You gotta make connections and sense out of it using the external world, and you gotta go off your intuition to make, and then it's gonna make sense of the inner world, or you can say the spirit world, and it's the unseen world that's or it's the overall thing what's going on. Now now you probably like, all right, what this has to do with consciousness? Now look, in order for you to have individual consciousness, see, you need individual consciousness because you want to have a separate, a separate mind from everybody else. You don't want to be thinking the same as the next person right next to you, because or you don't want to be thinking the same as your family, friends, etc. Because when y'all all thinking the same, where y'all finna go? Y'all not going anywhere. Y'all not. See, you need different types of consciousnesses. And you need to put these different, because if everybody got different consciousness, that's like different flavors and shit. So that's kind of like you put the seasoning on the chicken, you put seasoning, salt, pepper, all that other shit. These, because look at the consciousnesses as like, or look at the state of consciousness of everybody having their own individual consciousness as different flavors to add to the chicken and shit. But if everybody got this, if everybody is fucking salt and pepper, if every single person is salt and pepper, then we can't add no new ideas or new thoughts or new ways to do things to the people, places, and things all around us, because we all don't have our own individual thinking. So that's why I'm finna be talking about individual consciousness, so you can know how to obtain your own consciousness within your own brain, and how you going in your own way of viewing things and expressing how you see things, and not going along with, oh yeah, I think that's the way it should be and shit like that. And you just going along with shit, even though you know damn well, you feel like you know damn well it shouldn't be like that, but you just going along with it. Now look, now what you need to understand is, okay, for us to, you first of all, you need to have a long time. You have to have a long time so you can develop your if you don't want to talk about the bodies, the four bodies, if you don't want to have, yeah, like if you don't want to talk about a long time just to develop the four bodies, you need a long time to develop out of your brain, which is your mental. You need a long time to develop your emotions, like your emotions, like how you deal with situations. And you have to make it where you don't put your emotions into everything. You can't have it where, if something, you gotta take your emotions out of the external. You gotta put your emotions in yourself. You gotta put your emotions in how you feel, and you gotta use your emotions to better utilize the external reality. See, you can't be using your emotions into all these other people, places, and things. Because the more you lose your emotions, because it's like a gamble. If you're using your emotions into people, places, and things around you and shit, it's like you can get emotionally drained, you can get emotionally used, emotionally abused. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a gamble when you're doing that. So it's like you got to use your emotions towards things within you. So like kind of like when you're doing magic. I mean, well, not when you doing magic, but I'm just saying, like, I use my emotions, for example, when I'm doing magic, when I'm with my crystals or some shit like that. I'm using my emotions towards me, so I can, and where I'm trying to go, and where I'm trying, and and me just doing that shit, it helped me better utilize how I'm finna do this shit. Now look though, anyway, you gotta take a long time to develop these fours. See, the small shit matter. You gotta develop. You gotta read different topics, different shit. You gotta study different shit, and the shit you gotta study, don't just go out and go study some random ass shit. You want to find you got. That's why I'm saying. That's why I had added the soul into this. It's not just you gotta go out and read. Now you gotta add your soul into this shit too. Now your soul, that's going draw you towards things and topics that your soul want to listen to. Because when you looking at it on the mental level, and I just tell, and what if I just told you go out and go read anything, then that's me telling you halfway, but I'm a further the steps for you. So you want to go out and read things that's like your soul drawn to, because when you start reading things that your soul drawn to, you start to develop your own unique view, because your soul is you, and that's your perception on how you gonna see it. See, everybody can read the same thing, but everybody gonna have a perception on it. Everybody can be in the same place, but everybody gonna have a different perception on it. Everybody can know one person, but everybody gonna have a different perception on that person. So what you think? What you think? How this? Don't you think this conscious shit work like that too? You can. So when you I was finna say before I burped and shit. But when you reading and you reading shit that's on the soul level, then you right. Then you getting the emotions right. You seeing how you feel when you read certain things, and it's hitting you on an emotional level, then you straight. Then over time you start to get your own, over time your view on life is start to change. And you with the long time, that's the individual, and then the view on what you was already viewing, that's like you was viewing the shit you was reading, the shit you was looking at, the shit you was getting into, the activities you was doing. That's the consciousness of it. See, that's what you're gonna be consciously aware of whenever you or subconsciously aware, but that's something different. I'm talking about consciously aware, so you can have individual consciousness. But once you got individual shit that you do within your own life, and you got individual activities, individual things you read, things you do that's different from the norm or some shit, like then you ahead. You ahead. It's no way around it. See, if you look, take two people for example. If one person just on Instagram all day and scrolling mindlessly on this fucking phone, they gonna pick up the consciousness, and they seeing ads and shit on TV and this, that, and the third. They gonna pick up the consciousness. Oh, I gotta go buy this. Oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, I gotta go to this place. Oh, I gotta go see that person. But they conscious. You see how they consciousness is so aware of everything else besides their own self. See, or their own self as an individual. But when you start coming back to individual consciousness, then that's when you able to put everything that you want to do, that you want to be, that and shit like that. You start putting all the shit that you want to do, and etc on yourself. And once you start viewing, like, okay, all right, I need to put this shit in my own perception, this shit in my own unique view on how I'm finna view these things. Once you start viewing shit in your own way, then that's when it start playing out in the physical. And then that's when it start playing out where you might find your gift, you might find your calling or your purpose and shit like that. Cause you don't put your soul into it, you don't put yourself, you don't, and your emotions feel a certain way when you're doing these tasks and shit like that. So you gotta use your emotions to dictate, okay, is okay, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? See, motherfuckers who don't use their emotions a lot, these are the type of motherfuckers when they go work a job or some shit, even though the job is shitty, they still there. But a motherfucker who use their emotions gonna be like, I don't care about how much money I'm making at this job. If I don't feel right, then I'm not finna be working here. You see what I'm trying to say? But anywho, once you start getting a long time, like I said, and you start developing your own unique view on how you gonna see the world, with what the different things that your soul called to, whether it's physically doing these things, or it's mentally doing these things, or spiritually doing these things, then that's when you start developing your own perspective, and you start to become your own person, your own self, your own soul. Nobody ain't gonna be able to be you. Cause and it won't be no competition with you, cause people already know I can't even compete with them. Cause the shit starts within, the shit starts in the unseen before the shit get to the scene. So they gonna be like, damn, I can't even compete with this motherfucker. And motherfuckers gonna try to compete with you, but they ain't gonna be able to. They ain't gonna be able to think like how you do. They not gonna have the same view of life like how you do. You see what I'm trying to say? But you gotta get individual consciousness first, but and shit like that. You got to get your individual consciousness right so you can start viewing the world totally different. Once you start getting your individual, once we all start getting individual consciousness, then we going somewhere. But when we not getting individual consciousness, then we going off with everybody else teachings on how it should be. Old teachings on how it should be and shit like that, and we not taking time to think for ourselves, then that's when it's gonna play out. Well, you ain't gonna be able to have no control in your life, because you go off everybody else thought patterns. You listen to everybody else. You make an opinion, but at the same time you don't express your opinion and shit like that. But because you're not confident in your in the way how you see things, or your conscience, you're not confident, and then and shit like that. But the goal is just to get your own separate view on how you finna view everything, the people, places, and things in your reality, so you can have a better edge over everything.